We live our whole lives seeking the answer to that question. Why am I here? And the reason why we seek it is because we know there's a reason. Hello and welcome to Remember Why You're Here, a podcast for seekers and sensitives where you can relax, receive, reconnect to yourself, and remember the most important thing of all, why you're here. I'm Asia Suler, author, teacher, earth intuitive, and this is the very first episode of my brand new podcast. I am so excited to be here with you. I have been thinking for a long time about starting a podcast, and for probably just as long, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to call this podcast. I knew that this was the next iteration of how I wanted to share here, but for a long time, I was sort of stuck on the title. What do I want to call this new offering, this new piece in the world? And I wanted to share a little bit in this inaugural episode now that this podcast is finally coming to fruition, which I'm so excited about. I wanted to share a little bit about why I chose this name, Remember Why You're Here. Now, I have, for the last 13 years of my life, had a folder on the desktop of my computer called Remember Why You're Here. And over the years, anytime I've gotten a message, an email, anything that has helped me to remember this, I put it in that folder. So if you've ever written me an email of love and support, it's possible that your email is probably in Remember Why You Are Here. And it's a folder that I look at when I need to remember, when I need to reconnect to this understanding. And I think it's something that as sensitives and seekers, we deeply need. Like, we need to be reminded of why we're here because the going gets tough sometimes and life on earth is not always easy. And so this motion of remembering why you're here is incredibly important. So at the end of September, a massive, completely unprecedented hurricane swept through our mountains, causing a 1,000-year flood. And in the aftermath of that, among many other things, our town of Marshall, North Carolina was completely destroyed, and my apothecary. So I had an apothecary on an island in the middle of the river in Marshall called One Willow Apothecaries. And it was a really big, pivotal moment in time in my life. I'm still finding words to express just how powerful that entire experience was. That October was my plan to work on this podcast, to bring this podcast into fruition. And instead, I was dealing with all the things that come with living through a really massive natural disaster. But one night I was laying in bed late at night and was just sort of letting my mind drift. And I just heard this voice come in and said, "What about remember why you're here?" for the podcast name. And at first I thought, no, I don't know. It's kind of on the nose. It's very direct. But the voice was insistent. Remember why you're here. I'm like, am I worthy of having a podcast called Remember Why You're Here? But it wouldn't go away. And so I sat with it for some days, and I realized over those days, as these omens of support came in, and these moments, right, where I was living through like such a incredible soul trial, this trial that was redirecting me back to this remembrance, I realized that there's this level in which Remember Why You're Here is the perfect name for this podcast. I have always been really passionate about this, about helping people remember why they're here, and specifically helping other sensitives and seekers remember why they're here. I think this is a very human question. It's one that we have asked ourselves throughout all of time. It might even be the defining question of humanity. One of the things that makes humanity unique is we even ask this question at all. Why am I here? And not only do we ask it, like we seek it, we yearn for it, we long for its answer. We live our whole lives seeking the answer to that question. Why am I here? And the reason why we seek it is because we know there's a reason. We know there's a reason. And this is what drives us, right? This inner feeling, this inner understanding, and knowing that there is a reason why we're here, and that we want to know it, we want to experience it, and we want to live into it. We know that we're here for a reason. And it's one of those things that really keeps us going, especially as sensitive-hearted people, that we're here on this earth at this time for a reason. And one thing I have found in my own life and in the lives of the thousands of people that I've guided so far is that hardship itself is a passageway into remembering why we're here. And this just came alive for me in such a specific, crystal clear way when I lived through the hurricane. In this time of great upheaval, I was able to see and remember it. It just got so clear in that moment. Why am I here? And I think this question, it's not leading us to one answer, right? This question is leading us into the multifaceted reality of who we are, the presence of ourselves as multifaceted beings. Asking this question is what brings us in contact with this multifarious self, all the different sides of our beings that are here to be expressed, understood, and explored, and work together in this synergy and conjunction to bring forth the gifts that we were meant to deliver into this world. Because make no mistake about it, you are here to bring a gift to this planet. You are part of the Earth's greater dreaming. You came into being for a reason, and there is a reason why you are here. And this podcast and all the roads will go down together was designed to help you remember that, to help you reconnect to that. I've always loved the word remember because it's such a somatic, tactile word, right? Remember is literally to put something back together. Like making whole once again is to remember something. And so this is what we do in our life as we move down our journey is we're picking up these pieces. And as we pick up each piece, we can remember, we can become whole again. We integrate and illuminate once more the central core tenet of our mission, like that thing at the heart of us that we know we came into this world knowing, and that now we're simply remembering by becoming whole once more. And this is the journey. This is the journey of being an individual on this planet, of being a human, of being a sensitive, is realizing that through our own journey of recognizing our wholeness, of starting to come to understand, accept ourselves, have compassion for ourselves, integrate who we are, celebrate who we are, that it's through finding that wholeness that we understand our mission again, that we glimpse it, that we can have it be a guiding light that brings us forward. Because when we can remember why we're here, everything gets easier. Even if we don't know what the next step is in our life, even if we're not sure what that even looks like or what the future holds, having an embodied remembrance of why we're here. And again, I'm not speaking of necessarily having this intellectual understanding, although I welcome that. And I love it when it comes from my own self. But this embodied remembering of why you're here. It's like that fizzy, enlivening, integrated sort of champagne-like feeling when you just have this sense, this awareness of like, yes, this is why I'm here. It's that energy. It's that moment of revelation. Our life is made up of these series of revelations, right? It's that moment of revelation that helps you move onwards, that helps you take that next step. It's like when we have this seed awareness within ourselves of why we're here, it all gets so clear. And the stuff that you're not meant for, the stuff that doesn't deserve your attention, the stuff you're ready to let go of, that also gets really clear too. And I think we're at a moment in time right now where we're really being asked to get clear in that way, where we're being asked to prioritize our mission, the reason why we came into this earth, why we came into this being, where we're being asked to remember why we're here. And that journey of remembering can be truly delightful. So this is the start. This is the start of this journey of Remember Why You're Here, this podcast with me, Asia Suler, and I'm just so delighted that you're here. There's so much more I'm excited about sharing with you, but until next time, take care, be gentle with yourself, and whenever you can, remember why you're here.